So, it looks like the Hot Ones Q&A is happening today. Meaning, last week's episode with Elijah Wood was in fact the season finale. Could have done a better job of explaining that to the good people over at First Week Feast and Hot Ones. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes that happens, It's never really I can't tell you how many times when, before I started reading the official translation of One Piece, where, I had no idea there was going to be a break until, there wound up being one, and it didn't even say at the end of the chapter. So, yeah, it happens. But what can you do? Honestly, with that said, it was a great season. Thank you to the good people over at First We Feast and Hot Ones. I don't know when season 16 is going to start, but, it should be very, very interesting. So, that is part of my low. Another part of my low is the fact that it has been raining stupid amounts lately. I would say since I've been back from vacation, it's rained about 2.5 of the last 3 days. This would be day 4. So, well, it's got puddles right there. I don't really know if can't quite tell if it's raining per se. But let's say for the sake of argument that we're talking 3 of the last 4 days it's rained. And a relatively large amount too. I mean, sometimes the sky parted a little bit, so it stopped raining, and it did get a little warm. But for the most part, man, it's just been raining on and off. I'm wearing my jacket not just because I want to stay dry, but I also want to stay warm too. Because even during the summer, if you're wet, you're eventually going to get cold, and then potentially get sick from that. We don't want that. So that's part of my low. My high is the fact that I got to see my dad yesterday, and I got to talk with my mom. That was really great. I missed talking to my mom. I can't wait to see her a little bit later on this weekend. Or I might quickly see her tomorrow. I don't really know. Today would be a day that she's watching my nephews, so that wouldn't be a completely out of the imagination. And my act of kindness you're about to see right now. One moment, please. Let me get adjusted here. I'm gonna water my plants again. Okay, let's see here. Grab my handy watering. I accidentally spurted the water myself. Hold on. Watering can. Okay, there's my first plant. Get all nice and watered here. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can water the rest of these guys. See, a little water here as well. And we cannot forget Basil the basil plant. Yeah, seriously, I still have them. There we go. Yeah, I actually used a couple of his leaves the other day because I got myself a couple of frozen pizzas. And after they were done cooking, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to see if it's any good, putting fresh basil leaves on frozen pizza after you cook it. And it really works. Holy cow. It's really, really good. So, so nothing else, I'm kind of nature. And, when I picked up the watering can, it was actually a little too full, so I got some water on me. Yeah, it's fine though. It's just water. It ain't gonna hurt anybody. So that said, good morning, happy Thursday, everyone. Here's the thing. Before I started before I started this video, I looked to see if anything Hot Ones was going on today, and the Q&A is today. And one question that's on the on their Instagram is, who do you want to see in the next season of Hot Ones? It has been a good while since I've done like Hot Ones guests that I want to see. I guess I could probably spitfire a few ideas of who I would like to see. I mean, one of my all-time heroes, Andrew Zimmern, he has stated that he wants to be on Hot Ones. So I'll throw that one out right away. In terms of rappers, I mean, two of my all-time favorite rappers are Snoop Dogg and Eminem. So I would love to see them on Hot Ones, for sure. Celebrities. Well, if they've gotten Elijah Wood, then I certainly wouldn't mind seeing anyone else who's ever been on Lord of the Rings, like Viggo Mortensen, Sean Astin, Ian McKellen, any of those guys. Or better yet, like, a few seasons ago, you had, Daniel Radcliffe, so anyone from Harry Potter, like Rupert Grint, or, Emma Watson. I blanked on Emma Watson for a second. I am so ashamed of myself. Robbie Coltrane, he was Hagrid. Bill Nighy, he was the Minister of Magic. I think the Blockbuster Buster said it best when he said that the Harry Potter movies have the greatest supporting cast ever. And I agree, they do. Although the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing a great job of possibly usurping that title. And you know what? That's another set of guests I wouldn't mind seeing on Hot Ones. I mean, we've had Anthony Mackie and we've had Elizabeth Olsen on Hot Ones. So let's get some of the and Scarlett Johansson too. We've got Scarlett Johansson. So yeah, a few MCU related people like Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth. A lot of famous people named Chris. Obviously Robert Downey Jr. Tom Holland. Seriously, like, these lists will go on and on, trust me. Although, I guess as long as, let's be honest, this is an old joke, but I would not mind seeing this happen. But one guess I wouldn't mind seeing, just to see if Hot Ones winds up playing the theme, it's John Cena! I had to sort of like, I think I make it copyright if I actually tried making the sound, the actual theme. So, yeah, you get the idea. Speaking of Hot Ones, I have to say, like, Sean Evans is, like, becoming really more and more famous as time goes on. Like, seriously, they just showed him pitching, like, the first pitch at a White Sox game. He's a White Sox fan, you see. He's from Chicago, which, word up, two of my best friends from Trinity Poly, they're from Chicago. So, there you go. I don't mind that. My mom's best friend, she's also from Chicago. So, so I've been realizing that Chicago is relatively near and dear to my heart. That's actually, if I was ever big and rich and famous and I was able to travel anywhere I want to, Chicago is like in my top 10 places I want to go. Partly for seeing people that I know and love and, food. Seriously, Chicago is like a huge food capital in America. Not quite as big as like New York City or Los Angeles, but something you can consider like a close third. Or second, really, because you can make an argument that's better than Los Angeles, at least. I mean, I'm not just saying New York. For the record, I'm not saying New York City is the best because I'm from the state of New York. Not at all. I just happen to know, that's what everyone agrees with. I'm being serious on that. I wouldn't try and say anything. I'm not knocking Chicago or anything. Seriously, they're awesome. Although, this is actually something I've been kind of meaning to talk about for a little bit. But there's a whole controversy. I mean, it happened with the Washington football team where back when they were pardon the term, back when they were the Redskins, it was very offensive to Native Americans. And, now there's talks about other teams that have potentially offensive Native American names. They are also getting their names changed. Like the Cleveland Indians. That was actually one thing I want, because they changed their names to the Cleveland Warriors, which, by all accounts, Native Americans were warriors in their own right. So I guess it's kind of honoring that name, but at the same time, it doesn't really change much. I mean, you're the city of Cleveland. You have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum. You could have been called the Cleveland Rockstars. Or you know what? More often than not, when you're in the city of Cleveland, you hear Cleveland Rocks. You could have been called the Cleveland Rocks. That way in the stadium, you hear Cleveland Rocks, Cleveland Rocks. That would have been perfect. What's wrong? Seriously, huge missed opportunity right there. And then there's talks about the hockey team, the Chicago Blackhawks, which, okay, full disclosure, I heard the name Chicago Blackhawks, and I immediately thought, cool, it's a hawk that's the color black. That's awesome. I had no idea that was a Native American race. Not a clue. I mean, honestly, with a name like Blackhawk, you could almost simply not change the name at all. Just keep it Blackhawk and just have the logo be like a hawk that's black. Or you know what? Here's a better idea. Like a big black bird, like a raven or a corvid. Think about it. Chicago Corvid. That's alliteration. That makes sense. That's perfect, man. Everyone knows alliteration rocks. So, yeah. If you're going to change the name of the Chicago Blackhawks, make it the Chicago Corvids. In a way, it sort of honors the name Blackhawk in a way. Because again, a kid is going to think Blackhawk and think a big black bird. Corvids are big black birds. Plus, again, Chicago Corvid, alliteration. That works. It totally works. But that's just my 2 cents. And yeah, maybe the fact that, I am a dumb white guy, I probably shouldn't be saying anything on the matter. But, it just goes to show because if anyone's offended by what I'm saying, I am very sorry. I do not mean anything by that, at all. I'm just spitballing an idea here. And I certainly don't think it's a bad one. I mean, we live in a day and age where, thanks to social media and the internet, a lot of people are able to speak their minds. I mean, by all accounts, doing this every day is that exact thing, only maybe a little bit not as on the nose, I guess. But I understand that, people have their own agendas, their own priorities, and they definitely want to, have their own ideas, and that's fine. That's certainly not a problem. I certainly don't have a problem with that. Just do it, within reason. Just don't blindly jump into something. I mean, I guess I'm sort of I'm one to talk. In a way, I sort of blindly jumped into doing this on January 1st, 2018. And here I am. August 19th, 2021, 1320. I think today's 1326. Seriously, did I really just... No, I'm pretty sure this is 1326. Because 1327 would be tomorrow. 1328 would be Saturday, and 1329 would be Sunday, and that works because 1329 is divisible by 7. Hold on a second. 1329 divided by 7 equals. 1327 divided by 7 equals. Okay, now I really am lost. What day am I on? Oh, great. What? Okay, today is 1327. So the 28th would be, hold on a second. 1330 divided by 7 equals. Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay, so yes, today is 1327. All right. Man, I thought I just had this problem just the other day. Ah, boy. This is... I'm growing mad if you couldn't tell. I'm not growing mad at all. I'm perfectly sane, don't worry. I actually had a great talk with someone yesterday, and it was really nice, and, you know, I'm feeling better. Not 100% better. You know, I still miss my family. But, you know, it takes time. I mean, it hasn't even been a full week, you know? So, just take things one day at a time, and everything will work out. Like, favorite, share, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on social platforms using YouTube. I'm very humble in this video. For all of you guys watching, your frame will be a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Remember, you guys want to talk to channels, we'll be here to London and also be back. Take care and make good choices. Have a nice day.